So Chimanga and Loof. And Loof wins the tip for Middle in his starting debut as a Blue Raider. Starting five for Nick McDevitt's first place Blue Raiders: Jalen Counter, Justin Porter, Justin Buford, Tori Alston, and Chris Loof. Middle also without Kamari Lands tonight, as he has missed the last 8 games, and a tough finish from Justin Porter right out of the gate.
JP has been lighting it up ever since that second week of conference play. He went scoreless in their loss to Liberty, but then tweeted out, hey, no worries, I got this. Since then, JP has been on fire. He's averaging over 25 points in conference play this season.
And Bostic right at the rim gets the Aggies on the board after the backdoor cut. Middle Tennessee 14-6 this season. 5-2 in conference play. That puts them in a 3-way tie for first place with Jacksonville State and UTEP. New Mexico State 11-9, hovering just above 500 at 4-3 in Conference USA play as Justin Porter on the and one.
Nice finish by Justin Porter. That's something that head coach Nick McDevitt told us his guards specifically have been really working on over the last month, finishing at the rim, whether it's a lay-in, whether it's a floater like that nice one. JP doing a nice job finishing at the rim and helping MTSU get out to a fast start. And Jake, you mentioned the standings. It's also important to note that the top 5-6 teams all separated by about 1 or 2 wins. So still very early in conference play, but a very, very tight race right now with a little over a month and a half to go.
And Jill, you mentioned it at the top of the broadcast, the struggles of this New Mexico State offense, just 35% from the floor in the last 4 games. They've lost 3 in a row, but they've really been in every single one of those games. As Porter misses the 3, and it's cleared by Chimanga.
Big reason why the Aggies have kept it close in those losses is their defense. One of the top defensive teams in the conference. They're first in Conference USA in field goal percentage defense, holding teams to under 40% from the floor. Also second in scoring defense.
Jackson in trouble now. Cook, free throw line, really tough shot. Loof comes away with it. Yeah, those defensive numbers, you would think a team like that sitting with 5-6 wins in conference, but they just have not been able to put the ball in the bucket the last couple of weeks. 58.5 points per contest. The last few times out for New Mexico State as Tori Alston in traffic.
Alston with a nice finish. That's someone who also needs to step up in this game with the absence of Mustafa. And Tori has done a nice job of that this season. Ever since he came in for the injured Kamari Lands, Alston has made sure to make his presence known, especially under the basket. He's averaging a little less than 6 rebounds per game, second on the team after Mustafa.
Altered the shot on Wondon, and Chris Loof is going to be called for the goaltend, as Jaden Harris will check in and Christian Cook will take a seat. $11 newcomers on this New Mexico State Aggies roster, a season after they had 15 newcomers a season ago in the first year under Jason Hooten, as Buford's 3 is off the mark, and here comes Deontay Bostic.
7 transfers for New Mexico State, 2 of them starters, regular starters for the Aggies. But a lot of new faces, but they also come with veteran experience, Jake. They've been in tough games, transferred over from Division I programs, so they know what it takes to win. They know how difficult conference play can be, and same could be said for MTSU with 6 new transfers this year and a lot of veteran experience as well.
Carpenter puts up the 3 and got it to fall just before the horn of the shot clock.
Robert Carpenter, 3rd on the team in points per game, averaging just under 12. 33% three-point shooter. Nice bucket for Carpenter.
Loof left wide open at the top of the key, not this time. And here comes Deontay Bostic. Yeah, to your point, Jill, about the transfers and kind of having the elder statesman transferring. And both of these coaches intentionally went into the transfer portal to find guys that had that D1 experience, as Porter's 3 is no good. Loof comes charging in for the rebound. Now Middleton to shoot. Porter steps into one, no. And Chimanga with a rebound.
The transfer portal, the new rules have completely changed the landscape of college basketball, of college athletics as a whole. There's no longer that year that you have to sit out. A lot more players are taking advantage of that. Because of that, you see coaches completely rebuild their roster, reload their roster year after year. MTSU and New Mexico State taking advantage of that, and they're taking advantage of that with veteran, experienced players.
Jackson, one to shoot, and he shuffled his feet. So Middle Tennessee with a nice defensive stand as we head to the under-16 media timeout, tied at 7.
One way they can get more buckets, get more points on the board, push the ball in transition, use their speed, half-court pressure, full-court pressure, create turnovers, and make MTSU uncomfortable, which would then lead to more opportunities on the offensive side.
And never start practice with an offensive drill. It's always defense first with a Coach Hooten practice as Cam Weston off the bench using the glass. 16 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists in the loss last Saturday against La Tech. For Cam Weston. Baseline drive, dropping it off. Filipovic couldn't get it. Carpenter in and around and down.
Nice finish for Carpenter. Carpenter and also Filipovic are going to be two tough big men to guard tonight without Mustafa for MTSU. You can see right now for the Blue Raiders coming in, Christian Fussell. He's also going to have to be a factor tonight alongside Chris Loof.
Carpenter has a quick 6 points here in the first half, coming off a 16.5 rebound performance in the loss against Jack State, game that Mexico State lost 65-59. Back-to-back home losses, part of that 3-game losing streak for the Aggies. Trying to snap that here tonight. Alston, a rare corner 3, misses everything as Christian Fussell has checked in for the first time in quite a while, just his 5th appearance for Middle Tennessee this season. Tough shot, not gonna fall for Gabe Pickens. Loose ball. Filipovic comes away with it, jump stop. And New Mexico State will reset or not. Harris, quick trigger 3. Filipovic, offensive rebound in the putback.
That's what Filipovic does best. Gets positioned correctly underneath the basket. Between him and his defender, able to get that rebound, go right back up for the 2.
Osborne with the steal and going up, fouled by Cam Weston. First foul against Cam, and the first against Middle Tennessee here in the first half.
Rare turnover for Cam Weston, who's an excellent ball handler for MTSU. Just lost it for a second, and very nice steal. Each team with 1 turnover so far. There's been games at times this season, Jake, where both teams, MTSU and its opponent, kind of took some time to get settled, turnovers, fast-paced, but because these two teams don't necessarily push the ball too much, they're not known for being fast-paced offenses, you're not going to see nearly as many turnovers created or balls turned over by your team. So kind of a slower pace for these two styles of play. But they're starting to settle in nicely as we've seen so far. No big lead, no big extension, no big run by either team, just good defense.
Jacoby Osborne goes 1 of 2 from the stripe, making just his 11th appearance this season. Has not played since January 18th at Liberty. Freshman from Missouri City, Texas. So both coaches going to their bench early. Coach Hooten's lineup mixes and matches more so than other coaches this time conference season, where you've kind of got your lineup set, your top 8 guys. So just because you haven't played in a couple weeks doesn't mean you're not going to play here tonight, as Porter with a little baseline runner.
JP clearly in a rhythm early on, something he's done very well the last 5 games. Last 5 contests, he's averaging 22 points per game. He's done a nice job, facilitating.
Carpenter just glanced it off the backboard. Porter, wing three, no. Middle 0 for their first 7 from behind the arc. Now Filipovic guarded by Loof. Filipovic going right at Loof. Fading away, nice touch from the transfer from Maine.
Nice fadeaway by Filipovic. We highlighted him at the beginning of this game as someone that has got to step up. Second on the team in average points per game with 12 points per game as he now takes a seat on the bench.
Leading scorer a year ago for the Maine Bears. 14.5 points per contest, 7.5 rebounds, 3 years at Maine before transferring this past season to New Mexico State. 11.5 points and a team high 8.5 rebounds. That's good enough for second in Conference USA behind Issam Mustafa. And his team has a 4-point lead here on the road. Filipovic on a nice feed from the wing from Gabe Pickens.
Wide open for that lay-in for Filipovic. That's something that the Aggies could use a little bit more of. That pick and roll, give and go, try to create opportunities off the ball screen.
Trey Green is now in for Middle Tennessee, sharpshooter. Weston trying to get Filipovic off his feet and just missed the jumper. Filipovic spinning in the paint, going up with a left hand and finishing strong. 8 quick points for Peter Filipovic, and Middle Tennessee does not have an answer for the grad transfer from Maine.
Him more defensively when he has the ball, when he's under the basket, and then also in transition, and that's got to come down to Loof, but also help from other places, whoever's on the floor for MTSU.
Middle turns it over. Back-to-back possessions, as this is an offensive foul going against Middle. And it's against Trey Green, his first, and the third against Middle here in the first half. Filipovic, originally from Kapazvar, Hungary, moved to the U.S. his junior year of high school. Started out in Ohio, moved to Arizona before enrolling in the University of Maine. And now resides in Las Cruces, as this foul is going against Middle as well. That's 2 quick fouls on Trey Green. Aggies on a 12-2 run before that break. Chimanga, great defense by Loof to play it straight up. Counter, dropping it off for Loof on the oop.
Jalen Counter has great vision for MTSU. He's someone that has come to this program, and head coach Nick McDevitt speaks so highly about, tells us that he's one of those guys that is just a weapon, and so happy with what he's brought to this team because he's brought so much with his guard play and vision and also defense as well.
And Chimanga on the board. 2 points for him, and the lead is 8 for the Aggies. As Alec Oglesby making his third appearance for Middle Tennessee, number 1 on the floor right there. Closest to your screen as Buford misses the 3, and Middle Tennessee 0 for 8 from distance here early.
Yeah, they just got to get something going. Maybe try to slow things down.
Tough drive from Bostic, no, and Counter is pushing the pace the other way. Counter dribbled it off his foot, tried to save it. Filipovic is the one that got on it. And here comes Gabe Pickens. Chimanga couldn't get the kick off the rim, off the feed from Pickens. Middle pushing the pace. And now Porter will reset with 20 on the shot clock, going one-on-one with Emmanuel Chimanga. Now Buford, corner three, got it, and Middle needed it.
Huge three from Justin Buford. All smiles after that one. He looked off to the crowd. He was pumped about that one. You're right, Jake. MTSU desperately needed some sort of a spark. It might have to come from Buford or just behind the three-point line tonight.
Yeah, and despite the recent scoring surge for Middle Tennessee, they are not a good three-point shooting team. They are 9th out of the 10-team Conference USA in terms of three-point percentage. Filipovic, really tough shot over Buford, and counter pushing and fouled by Emmanuel Chimanga. That's his first, and just the second against the Aggies here in the first half.
Chimanga kind of got tangled up with counter in transition. Just reached across with that left hand. Yeah, I can't do that. Counter now going to take a seat. But it's great to see Oglesby in here after not seeing him since game 2. Back at the very beginning of this season, had the shoulder injury.
Yep.
And took some time, had to recover. Great to see him out here, and a great shooter for MTSU, even though I imagine he needs a little bit of time, get warmed up, get back into the swing of things.
Spent the last couple of seasons at Stetson. He was a 40% three-point shooter a season ago when he knocked down 75 triples for the Hatters. That name's a little on the nose, isn't it? Stetson Hatters.
The Hatter, I want to say Mad Hatters.
That makes sense. I can get with that. Buford, tough drive. No. Weston fighting for the rebound, and he's fouled.
Great physicality by Weston. MTSU starting to come alive here, starting to come together when they need it. And this crowd and the fans are a big reason why. It's a midweek matchup. It's still a lot of Blue Raider fans here, and down by 5, but certainly very, very early and not out of this game. MTSU just needs to find a little bit of a rhythm offensively.
Last foul against New Mexico State went against Nate Chimanga as Oglesby knocking off the rust. So you have both Emmanuel Chimanga and Nate Chimanga.
That's right.
Brothers. Yes, both went their separate ways in college. Emmanuel transferred in from UC San Diego. Nate from Utah Valley, and they both are from, well, obviously they're both from Montreal.
And then they said, hey, let's meet up in New Mexico.
You want to play
right?
basketball together, brother?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's go be Aggies together.
Offensive foul going against New Mexico State.
It's rare nowadays to see brothers or sisters, not just both of them playing in Division I, but very rare to see them on the same team. And I have to imagine very, very cool experience.
Well, their whole family plays college basketball.
Right.
They have 4 siblings that played Division I basketball. Jordy played at Nebraska and Dayton, Florence at SMU and Indiana State, Yasmin at LSU, and Link at TCU and UT Arlington. I want to know what growing up in that house was like, in the Chimanga house was like. Just
a lot of good
just 3-on-3 all the time, I guess. Aggies on top by 5, shooting 43% from the floor. Middle just 37%, 1 of 10 from distance. And the Aggies turn it over, just the 3rd turnover against New Mexico State. So counter, Porter, Christian Fussell, Torrey Austin, and Cam Weston. The 5 on the floor for Nick McDevitt. Jason Hooten going with Bostic, Jackson, Cook, Chimanga, and Carpenter, as that 3 is no good from Christian Fussell, just his 8th field goal attempt. Jackson to Nate Chimanga off the glass. I tell you what, there's a nice little contingent of Aggies fans over to our left. It's 1,300 miles, Jill, from Las Cruces, New Mexico
that's a
to
long
Murfreesboro,
hike.
Tennessee. It's Cam Weston's 3 is no good, but the Aggies fans have showed up. They've got the New Mexico state flag, which isn't my top 5 of state flags, I would say.
Oh, wow.
But you don't have a list of favorite?
Not a top
no?
5,
Okay.
no.
Just think about it during the break. We'll come back to it.
Yeah, let me think on that one. But you know what? I think I'd love to see that fans are willing to travel this far, go to a game like this, and this is a very big game. New Mexico State tied for 4th place, certainly fighting for that top half position in the standings, right? And they're really only a game, 2 games back. It's still early in conference play where there's only so many games that separate first from last. Yes, MTSU tied for first in a 3-way tie, but a game like this, a win for the Aggies could completely boost them into the upper half of the standings, give them some momentum where they could string together wins, and then you get a better seed in the tournament. So I love to see the fans coming out for this game because it is a huge game.
Weston step back 3, no. And the shot selection for Middle Tennessee not working out for him so far as they catch a break as Carpenter and Filipovich couldn't figure out who wanted to rebound it. And so Middle will get another crack at it, and 20 seconds on the shot clock. Here comes the oop to Alston. Decides to come down with it wisely, going against Filipovich. And then he lost it. And that's the second time tonight we've seen Filipovich hit the deck to get a loose ball. Bostic spinning, and Loof gonna pick up his second goaltending. Crowd doesn't like it. Blue Raider bench doesn't like it. Let's get another look. Little hard to tell from that angle if that ball was coming down or not. It was hard to tell in real time. But either way, it's a 9-point lead now for the Aggies. Green, quick trigger 3, no. And the cold shooting for Middle continues. Middle just 1 of 14 from 3-point land tonight. And over their last 7. Filipovich, 5 to shoot going around Alston, and that's the second time he's done that move and got it to fall.
He has great spatial awareness down there, down low. Also great positional power, the way he was able to get in front of Alston. He's just been so difficult to stop as he now has 10 points tonight.
And the lead is 11 for the Aggies. Make it 14, and Nick McDevitt needs a TO.
Wow, what a run for the Aggies. 6-0 run over the last 2 minutes. We went in that they went back, made sure they got it right, and they did. It was tough to see on our end, but that's good that they made sure to get that one right.
But the big stat tonight so far, Middle 1 for 14 from behind the arc. 14 of their 23 field goal attempts have been 3-pointers, and they've only made 1. And they trail by 14 here at home, a place they have been so good the last few years, and they're now 1 of 15. And none of these shots are coming in rhythm.
No, and that's why they're struggling so much. It can't just be JP that has a good night, even though he has consistently put up good numbers, but we have to get more help from everybody else, find some sort of a rhythm.
And now they're falling asleep on defense.
Yep.
As Pickens with a beautiful find. As Osborne has his first field goal tonight.
Osborne wide open down low. MTSU, usually very good defensive man-to-man team, but he got lost in the shuffle down there.
So it's an 11-0 run for the Aggies. We take one more look at a beautiful find.
Looks like 2 Blue Raider defenders got caught up top in potentially ball screen.
Weston on the drive underneath the bucket now, going to that mid-range jumper that he loves. Second bucket tonight for Cam. Preseason all-conference selection has been coming off the bench for Middle Tennessee since the middle of December. Been playing really well the last few ball games. 13.5 points, 3.5 assists in the last 3. Carpenter in the corner, misses everything, but mark it up as an assist as Filipovich now has 12.
Chris Loof was down there next to Filipovich, just needed to get in front of him. box him out, so he would have been able to be in position for that defensive rebound. Instead, it's another 2 points for the Aggies.
Not a lot of movement for this Middle Tennessee offense. Last couple of trips down. Porter. Now Green after the shot fake. In the air, got it to fall.
Nice take by Green. Faked the three from the corner, drove to the basket, and had that nice floater up there. Was able to loft it in. Very nice 2 points from Trey Green, who has very often provided a small spark for MTSU when the Blue Raiders need it.
Filipovic picks up the dribble, and now the Aggies will reset. Pickens drive, kick, Carpenter for three, and it's a line drive and a hard fall by Jacoby Osborne. But it looks like he's all right, as Alston will pick up the foul.
That's a tough call, because you could clearly see right here, Alston's going to go for the rebound, jump up, but because of the positioning of where he is in front of him, they get tangled up. Hits the floor hard. Glad he's okay.
15 foul against Middle here in the first half, as Osborne will head to the sideline. So 20 on the shot clock, 2:07 to go in the half. New Mexico State on top by 14. Bostic keeps his dribble alive. Now Cook, the mid-range jumper, couldn't get it to fall. And another rebound for Filipovic. And Loof might have got a piece of that one, as the officials will give the ball to Middle with 1:45 to go. Filipovic off the bench, 12 points, 7 rebounds, 3 steals, and 6 of 9 from the floor.
He has been as advertised, and I don't even know if we hyped him up enough. and I also think he's not the biggest guy out here.
Yeah.
At 6'7", I actually anticipated him being a little taller, but Loof has a good solid couple inches on him. But Filipovic's athleticism, positional power down low, also physicality. How many times have we seen Filipovic get on the floor, fight for a ball, get up, fight for a rebound? He just is bringing an incredible energy for the Aggies tonight, and they're feeding off of it.
Weston got a clean look at it and buries the three. A much, much needed three-pointer for Middle Tennessee, as we have less than a minute and a half remaining. And Jason Hooten will burn a timeout with 1:18 to go and 25 on the shot clock. So Middle
comfortable, get them out of rhythm, and create turnovers. That's another quick way to get back in this game.
26 of the 34 points from the Aggies have come inside the paint. So Middle Tennessee really missing Issam Mustafa on both ends of the floor tonight. And Loof got a piece of it. I think Buford altered it at first, as Gabe Pickens has his shot sent back. So 11 on the shot clock, 1:05 to go in the half. Aggies have missed their last 4 shots. They lead by 11. Eight to shoot, Pickens off the screen. Now Carpenter, 3 to shoot. Tough shot. And a faint whistle coming from the near side on Cam Weston, his second. 6th team foul against Middle Tennessee. And that'll send Robert Carpenter to the stripe. He's been playing well as of late. 16 points in each of the last 2 ball games, after just 4 total points in the previous 2. But just a 67% free throw shooter, and that's been one of those statistics the last few games that we've been circling in the box scores. Free throw shooting for this Aggie squad, just 63% as a team the last 4 games.
For a team that likes to drive and get to the basket, that's a very low percentage.
And Carpenter goes 1 of 2. 7 points in the first half for Carpenter. Less than a minute to go. Middle trails by 12. Just 23 points for the Blue Raiders. And Pickens picked the pocket of Trey Green, but the ball went out of bounds. So 16 on the shot clock for Middle. Buford to trigger. Counter, 5 to shoot. Going one-on-one with Filipovic, now in the corner. Counter's got to put it up. Got it at the horn!
Counter at the buzzer. What a shot and what a spark for MTSU before the half.
New Mexico State can hold for the last shot after the counter 3. His first bucket tonight, 10 to shoot. Pickens at half court. Pickens on the drive, going up. Loof got a piece of it. Counter with the heave, just off the front of the rim. And
is a big part of that. Mustafa averaging 13 points per game for the Blue Raiders, second on the team behind Justin Porter. Missing him, somebody else has to step up for the Blue Raiders. Cam Weston has done a nice job providing a spark this first half, but Blue Raiders need to get into offensive rhythm quick, try to cut this lead.
Quick 3 from Christian Cook, no good, and fun connection with this game tonight. Christian Cook from Oklahoma City, Jalen Counter from Middle Tennessee, also from Oklahoma City. This is not the first time that they've shared the hardwood. Jill, 7th grade, playing for Ball Time.
Oh yeah.
The AAU squad out of Oklahoma City, so these two guys playing against one another for the first time tonight as Tori Alston gets to the cup.
Nice take by Alston. He's somebody that we could definitely use a little bit more from tonight. He's done a nice job defensively. Was held scoreless in their last game, but can also help contribute down low. Nice bucket by the redshirt freshman.
Yeah, definitely a challenge game for the Middle Tennessee Bigs here tonight as Bostic has his 8th point, fighting through the traffic. So no Isam Mustafa, so that means that Chris Loof gets the start. No Kamari Lands. So Christian Fussell coming in off the bench for the first time in a long, long time. As Middle Tennessee's bench, I believe, picked up a warning from one of the officials after the Justin Porter jumper. And then Cook ran with it.
Good ball screen defense from Middle Tennessee, something that is a little slow to start this game. Aggies are in my opinion, they don't run a fast-paced offense, but they are very quick and athletic in transition when they need to be. MTSU trying to catch up to that speed, create some turnovers the second half. That would be key to get back in this game as the lead is now cut to 7.
And then a whistle away from the ball going against the Aggies. That's Bostic. He picks up his 2nd. And first team foul against the Aggies. As there's Jason Hooten, his 2nd season as the head coach for the Aggies. Alston, now Buford. Porter, Euro step, tough shot, fading away from the bucket. And Alston is going to pick up the foul on the rebound. His 2nd. First for Middle, and now a technical foul against Tori Alston.
I did not see what happened there, the exchange. Alston was visibly frustrated, but I did not see what called the technical foul after that.
So that's now 3 fouls against Tori Alston, including the technical. So Zadie Jackson, who is scoreless tonight, rolls home the first free throw. Best free throw shooter on this Aggie squad, 81%, 5th best in Conference USA. He's been quiet the last few ball games as he goes 1 of 2, but 3 of 18 from the floor is Zadie Jackson. He averages double figures, 10.1 points per contest, but 1 point tonight and just 3 field goals in the last 3 ball games. You know, when you're prepping for the game, you're looking at the game logs from all the guys that play from the Aggies, and you're looking at the numbers, and it's 3 of 18 the last 3 games, 4 of 25 the last 3 games, shooting less than 30%, less than 20% in some cases, and just somewhere along the way, this offense kind of got derailed. I mean, they won 7 in a row prior to the last couple of weeks.
I would also give credit to the conference. Conference play is very, very difficult. And you said how much this Aggies offense has struggled last 4 games, shooting roughly 35% from the floor. Well, their competition has been very tough as well.
Yeah, Conference USA, I think, ranked 8th out of
8th or 9th, yes.
And then Buford had it ripped away by Jackson. Jackson just out-muscling Buford. Filipovic, baseline drive now, retreats, now back into the back down. Bostic with 10, fading from the free throw line, tough shot, Deontay Bostic.
Great move by Bostic. Hesitated, faked to the 3 at the top of the arc, drove, then the nice step back and great finish.
Loof thought about it. Now Alston, he lost it, but he was fouled on the drive. 3rd team foul against the Aggies as Peter Filipovic has his first foul of the night.
It's hard to believe that's Filipovic's first foul. He has brought so much physicality and aggressiveness to this game, but smart aggression, right? There's a big difference between stupid aggression, dumb aggression, careless aggression, and then being smart under the basket, being smart going for rebounds and hustling on the floor. That's what he's showcased tonight.
So counter on the baseline, backing down the defender. Chimanga might have got a fingertip on it. So now the Aggies content to slow the pace down. That's what this offense does. They are last in terms of number of possessions per 40 minutes in Conference USA. Very methodical on offense in the half court. 5 to shoot for Jackson. Tough shot, over counter, got it to fall. First field goal tonight for Zadie Jackson. Lead is back to 12, back to 9 after the Porter 3.
You could feel the crowd get hyped after that 3 by Justin Porter. Huge spark for MTSU right now as they try to cut this lead.
Nick McDevitt barking out the defensive call for Middle Tennessee. They need a stop here as the Aggies have connected on 3 in a row. And Jackson fouled on the dribble drive, and that'll take us to the under 16 media timeout. A little back and forth action here to start the second half here in the Borough State. But here in Murfreesboro, both teams are 3 of 5 from the floor here to start the second half as Zadie Jackson, transfer from West Georgia, makes both free throws.
UTEP coming here on Saturday, also tied for first place with MTSU along with Jack State, but those 2 other teams, Liberty, Kennesaw State, they also have 4 wins.
Yeah.
So they're just separated by 1 game. If Kennesaw State and Liberty were to win tonight, which I believe they were winning at the moment, then they could jump up into the top half of the standings. So very, very tight-knit race from now until the end of this conference season.
Weston with a weight room bucket.
I like that weight room bucket.
Yeah, just
You got
bodied him up, muscled him up.
Yeah.
Lead stays at 9 for the Aggies. Loose ball, Harris comes away with it. He'll put up the 3, short. Weston hit the deck, and it's a foul going against New Mexico State. And Jason Hooten going right back to Filipovic. Fourth team foul against New Mexico State. Second on Emmanuel Chimanga. Excuse me, third team foul against New Mexico State. And here are the Aggies switching up the defense, putting some pressure on Middle Tennessee. Porter probably should have went up with it at the rim. And all Nick McDevitt can do is shrug his shoulders.
That's exactly what the full court press is supposed to do. Kind of create that havoc, make the other team push the ball a little quicker than what they would like, possibly create a turnover, just like they did.
Cook, wing three, no. Osborne with the offensive rebound. 10th offensive board tonight for New Mexico State. Carpenter at the rim over Cam Weston.
That second chance, brutal for MTSU, created second chance points for the Aggies as they continue to extend their lead here. Now 11 points.
Weston going around Filipovic, and he is fouled. And he is slow to get up as he took a hard fall against the Murphy Center floor. He's up on his feet after catching his breath. First foul against Osborne. And Middle Tennessee shooting their second free throw tonight. They have only taken one free throw attempt tonight.
That's hard to believe because this is a Blue Raiders team that loves to drive to the basket, get to the rim. They have had those opportunities, but then also credit to New Mexico State's defense. They've done a nice job just going straight up, being physical but not reckless.
Well, and it helps that Middle Tennessee, half of their shots have been three-pointers, and this is not a good three-point shooting team.
Correct.
For Middle. They are 31% as a unit. That is 9th in Conference USA, so they've really kind of gotten away from their identity offensively of attacking the rim here tonight.
Yeah, JP is really the guy that you can count on to make that three, and he's only 38% from beyond the arc.
And now Middle throwing a curve ball against this Aggie offense, going full court press. Filipovic, no, and the follow.
Great take by Filipovic, great follow by his teammate Carpenter. That's exactly what you do to break the MTSU full court press. You go right down the middle of it.
Loose ball, Aggies on the floor for it, and the Aggies come away with it. Cook, Filipovic, back to Cook for three, no, and Weston with a rebound. I tell you what, Middle wanted a goaltend on the other end as Weston's going to take it himself, and he's out of control. Third against Cam Weston.
Nice job by Zoddy Jackson. Plants his feet, take another look at this. He gets set, and then Cam goes right into him. You have to have your feet set in order to have that offensive charge called, and that's exactly what Jackson did. So Jackson, excuse me, Pickens, thank you.
Fourth team foul against Middle. Both teams have 4 team fouls as the lead is back to 11 for New Mexico State. Middle Tennessee just can't get over that 9-point deficit hump that they found themselves in tonight. Carpenter, rhythm three, no. Weston with a rebound. Carpenter, a volume three-point shooter. 33% from behind the arc this season. Porter, baseline drive, got the runner. Porter now with 14 to lead all scores. Lead back to 9. And now an offensive foul against the Aggies.
One thing head coach Nick McDevitt talked to us about just a week ago was how at times you can't just be a drive to the basket, hard-nosed team. You can't trade twos for twos all the time. The game, this college basketball game has developed so much that you have to be able to shoot the three at times. And when you do have a deficit, like MTSU has had since middle of the first half, they got to catch up quicker than this. They can't just keep trading twos for twos. JP's doing a nice job getting to the rim, getting that floater, but again, they're just not making a big enough dent into this lead, while they also can't find an answer on the other end to the Aggies offense.
Oglesby has checked back into the lineup, making his third appearance, and then a bad pass from Buford as Osborne with the steal and score on the other end.
Osborne has had a very good night for the Aggies. He's one of those quieter players, doesn't jump out to you on the stat sheet, but has got it done with rebounds, 3 rebounds so far tonight, and 5 points for Osborne.
And Middle Tennessee's offense is all out of sorts right now as Carpenter at the rim. Robert Carpenter, Bob the Builder.
Time they make a three, you can really see the energy shift on offense and in the crowd. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Hallie. Middle Tennessee, 4 turnovers in the last 2 minutes and 30 seconds. They only have 7 field goal attempts in the first 8 minutes of the second half here. Just sloppy offensive basketball,
That's
Joe.
the last thing you want to do when you have a big lead you're trying to cut into, right? Turn the ball over, give more chances to the Aggies. That's exactly what you do want to do. Cam Weston from deep. That's a spark that the Blue Raiders need, and Cam Weston was able to get into a little bit of rhythm that first half. Great to see him try to carry it over now this second half. Blue Raiders need someone other than JP to be stepping up right now. Weston and JP with 14 each.
Weston in double figures for the 13th time this season as Filipovic is fouled on the drive. The lead is 10. As Cam Weston picks up a very, very critical 4th foul.
Yeah, that's not good when you have one of your hot shooters right now, right? The guy that you want to get the ball to, when he has 4 fouls with still more than 10 minutes.
And let's help our neighbors in California recover from those devastating wildfires in Los Angeles. As Filipovic kicks it out to Bostic, and it's a 10-point lead for the Aggies. They have been in control of this game for the majority, as that 3 is no good, and we're heading the other way. Middle Tennessee really needs to clean it up offensively as Porter to the rim, and Alston with a follow.
Wow, what a statement by Tori Alston. A nice drive by Porter, but then even better finish and follow through by number 10 for MTSU. Don't look now, but MTSU now 5 of their last 5. They're heating up ever since that Cam Weston 3.
Harris on the cut, tough bucket. And then a quick timeout taken by Jason Hooten. Not liking what he's seen from his defense. So he will call timeout. Just a 30-second time.
Here, 8-1 this season in the Glass House, but now that streak is under duress.
He's full of big words tonight, aren't you? A lot of $2 words coming out of you.
English major in me.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
MTSU 5 of their last 5 field goals. They got to capitalize on this momentum and some tanglement down low.
Foul on the rebound going against New Mexico State. Actually, no, it's actually against Middle Tennessee.
Yeah.
And both coaches looking a little surprised.
McDevitt, yeah, I would say maybe more so. He's, and the fans.
Yeah, that guy too.
Yeah, I'd like to see, that one's tough. I didn't quite see what happened. Everybody kind of got tangled up down low.
They called it on Alston.
Okay, yeah, and that's going to be his 4th, I believe. Yeah, that's not good. So now Cam Weston and Tori Alston both with 4 fouls for MTSU and still just under 10 minutes to go in this game.
So Middle without 2 starters in Kamari Lands and Issam Mustafa, and now without arguably, well, certainly one of their best players in Cam Weston with 4 fouls, and then another starter in Tori Alston with 4 fouls. So it's Oglesby, Counter, Porter, Loof, and Johnson on the floor for Middle Tennessee. Talk about a group of guys that hasn't seen a lot of time together on the hardwood this season.
Oglesby just coming back after having played the first 2 games of the season, and then Jacob Johnson, not a ton of minutes, right? He's only averaging roughly, I believe, a couple minutes a game. But Johnson did have a nice game against Sam Houston as Counter gets fouled.
Counter will go to the line. And again, Middle Tennessee has only taken 3 free throw attempts tonight. They only had 10 in the loss last Saturday against Western Kentucky, but this is a team that shoots at least 20 free throw attempts per game, which is middle of the road as is. But to only get to the line twice, this is their 3rd trip to the line as a team. That can't happen.
No, to your point, Jake, that absolutely cannot. They got to drive to the basket, create opportunities, but you also have to take into account majority of their free throws come from Mustafa. He's down low, he gets fouled, he's physical underneath. When you take your top scorer out of the game, puts a lot more pressure on the offense to create more opportunities.
Counter goes 1 of 2. He has 4 points tonight. He's been in double figures the last 3 ball games. He's been so good at protecting the ball as well. The last 2 games, 11 assists, no turnovers for Jalen Counter. But 4 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists for the transfer from IUPUI tonight as Middle going full court trap, trying to force some turnovers. Long skip pass to Bostic, just able to save it. Ten to shoot for Bostic. A lot of dribbling. Had it poked from behind by Trey Green. So 8 on the shot clock. Bostic to inbound. Cook's been quiet tonight. Just 3 points. And he can't get the mid-range jumper to fall. He's 1 of 8. The leading scorer for New Mexico State so far this season. 14.5 points per contest. He has scored double figures in 13 straight games.
Yeah, Christian Cook uncharacteristically quiet tonight. He just can't find the back of the net. He averages 15 points in Conference USA play and just hasn't been able to be there tonight.
Bostic with the steal, and he's fouled by Justin Porter as Porter was trying to get the foul before Bostic went up.
I believe that was a foul on the ground, so he will not be.
First foul against Porter. Porter was trying to plead his case to the officials. Second team foul against Middle Tennessee. First against Porter, and it'll send Deontay Bostic, transfer from Cal State Northridge. One of 7 new transfers and one of 11 newcomers on this roster for the Aggies this year. One-on-one situation, and Bostic missed. Just a 57% free throw shooter, and Loof quit running to the bucket.
You could, from our angle, it was perfect. We saw exactly what Counter was trying to do. He had the open space. He thought Loof was going to continue on, but stopped just short.
Middle picking up full court again. Johnson on the ball. Middle looking to force a trap in the corners. And Jackson gets it across half court, and now the Aggies offense can get set. Carpenter from the wing, got it.
Ooh, that was a pretty one from Robert Carpenter. Not normally a big three-point shooter for them, but he's been well behind the arc tonight.
Chris Loof with a long overdue three-pointer, just his 4th three-pointer this season.
How about the big man getting in from deep? That was a beauty.
Yeah, Nick McDevitt praised Chris Loof in our preseason Zoom meeting, talking about his improved shooting, and he said, hey, it's just a matter of time before this kid really kind of figures it out on the offensive end and can knock down those long jump shots and keep defenses guessing. Carpenter over the much smaller Trey Green, in and around and out, and Counter clears. Middle down by 9. Middle 6 of their last 8. Porter, pull up mid-range, Jay, no. Carpenter clears. 5th rebound tonight for Carpenter to go along with 16 points. Bostic stopping, spinning, left hand, no! And the ball caromed in off of somebody. Either way, it's 2 points. Counter, tough shot. Just 5 points tonight for Jalen. And they're going to credit Emmanuel Chimanga with the bucket on the other end. Maybe he was just the closest to it. 9-point lead. It's been stuck at 9 for the entire game, it feels like. Jackson, floater, Chimanga, no. And that'll take us to the media timeout. 5:51 to go, and the Aggies trying to pull a quick one on the Blue Raiders for Sam Houston. And now they're both in Conference USA.
And welcome back to CUSA. This would be a huge win tonight for the Aggies if they're able to pull this one out. Help catapult them into the upper half of those standings and potentially be tied for first place, depending how the rest of the league plays out tonight.
Alston on the baseline against Filipovic.
Great take by Tori Alston. He was someone who we knew had to step up today for the Blue Raiders without Mustafa. Did a nice job defensively and also contributing there offensively.
The redshirt freshman going right at the graduate. Cook off the screen towards the bucket. Skip pass. And he sent it into the front row. And now signs of life from the Murphy Center as Middle is within 7, which is the closest this game has been in quite a while.
One key to eating into a big lead is creating turnovers, forcing turnovers. MTSU needed a couple defensive stops as the Aggies continue to heat up offensively. That was a huge one here. Now can they capitalize?
Cam Weston back in the ball game with his 4 fouls. He's driving, hanging in the air. No, loose ball. Who's going to get it? It's Weston. Counter on the kick out. Weston, another offensive rebound, and he's fouled.
Great sequence for MTSU on the boards. 2 back-to-back offensive rebounds, continuing to give them life. And now a chance to cut into this lead even further as they're down 7. Finally, not a 9-point difference.
Nate Chimanga picks up his first foul as Cam Weston will go to the line. Both teams have 17 fouls apiece, so we are shooting 1-1 at least for the rest of the way. And now free throws are going to play a major factor in this ball game, and neither team is that good at shooting free throws. They are 8th and 9th respectively in Conference USA in free throw shooting. Weston, a 70% free throw shooter, makes the second. 15 points tonight for Cam. Middle, taken away by Counter. Up ahead to Weston, shot fake. Step back, mid-range, Jay, got it!
Cam Weston pumping his chest after that, loving every second. Great defense by MTSU, great pushing it up the court and transition offense.
And Jason Hooten needs a timeout as the Murphy Center is about to blow its top. Middle fighting their way back. The Murphy Center is jumping. Middle Tennessee down by 4. Was down by as much as 16 in that first half. As the Aggies on a bit of a scoring drought the last couple of minutes. Cook over his 7th grade teammate, no.
Cam Weston, our player of the game, started to get hot, but end of the first half, but then it was the second half spark that really turned things around for MTSU as he makes that layup and this glass house erupts. Coach McDevitt waving everybody on. Everybody can feel the energy here as MTSU makes it a 2-point game.
McDevitt ditching the quarter zip. Jackson, tough shot at the rim. No, Carpenter tied up by counter, and it's a jump ball, and Middle has stolen a possession.
The momentum shift in this arena is tangible. This is great physicality here, good defense, even though Loof didn't come down with that rebound, able to track it down and counter, get hands on it for the jump ball. MTSU doing an excellent job defensively and also finding that rhythm offensively.
Middle has not led since it was 9-7 with 14 minutes and 55 seconds to go in the first. Down by 2. Trailed by as much as 16. Counter, baseline drive. Gets it back in the corner, in and out, and Filipovic with a big rebound. And this place would have erupted.
Cam Weston guarding Zoddy Jackson. Remember, Weston does have 4 fouls, so he needs to play smart defense right now.
Alston with a block from behind. Up ahead to Loof. Porter from the wing. No.
That one would have brought the house down too. Everybody on their feet here at the Murphy Center. What a crowd, what a Thursday night.
Just over 2 minutes remaining. Jackson picks up his dribble. Now Filipovic, who has been scoreless here in the second half. In the corner, no. Had to heave it with the shot clock winding down, and with 2 minutes left, Middle trails by 2. Weston, step back 3, no. Loof with a one-armed rebound, and he's fouled. That's gonna be on Bostic. And it's gonna be his 3rd.
Loof now shooting free throws. A great opportunity here with the one-on-one to tie this thing up. MTSU has played really smart defense and also done a nice job on the boards. They weren't winning the battle on the boards the first half, really turned things around this second half.
So Chris Loof, the sophomore from Leander, Texas, getting his start. The start tonight, his first career start for the injured Issam Mustafa. 5 points tonight for Loof. And he missed the front end of the 1-and-1. Just a 57% free throw shooter.
Aggies right now don't need to go quickly. They have the lead. The last thing they want to do is turn the ball over. So right now, use up all this shot clock. Get the shot you want.
Just one of their last 7 are the Aggies. Cook, his tough night continues. Loose ball, and counter, the last to touch it. Middle looking for an over the back call, not going to get it, but that's now 20 seconds that the Aggies have to work with on the shot clock. Both teams in the bonus, 1 timeout remaining for each team, as Trey Green is going to check in for Jalen Counter for defensive purposes, as Jackson will be the inbounder for New Mexico State. Filipovic guarded by Green. Now Cook with the 6'11" Loof, and cutting to the basket, it won't fall for Bostic.
Great defense by MTSU there, especially Trey Green up tight on Filipovic.
Porter and Jalen Counter, and the Aggies will counter with Bostic, Jackson, Cook, Filipovic, and Carpenter.
Again, if you're MTSU, you want to get the ball into the hands of your hot shooter right now. That's Cam Weston. Down low, or at least create some sort of ball screen opportunity to free up either Loof or Alston down low under the basket.
I was going to say, if you're drawing up something for Porter or for Weston to get to the bucket, you want to give the opportunity for an offensive rebound for Loof or Alston for a putback. So it's a 2-point advantage for the Aggies, looking to snap a 3-game skid. Weston off the screen against Carpenter, 8 to shoot. Fading away, Carpenter got a piece of it. Loose ball, Carpenter's got it. Alston got a hand in there. Who's the last to touch it? It was Alston. Great defense by the Aggies.
New Mexico State couldn't have done that any better. Nice block. It looked like Weston had enough on it to get over top, but Aggies able to get a piece of it, create the turnover, push it ahead. That's the last thing you want if you're MTSU.
The 6'7" Carpenter using all of that length to just get a hand, just a tip on that basketball. And surely that was not the shot that Middle was hoping for, but great defense by the Aggies as we've got a review. They had possession when that ball was knocked out of bounds, so it is 27 seconds on the shot clock for New Mexico State. That is a huge, huge call.
It was 20 seconds before that, was it not? Yes.
Filipovic. Guarded by Lou. Filipovic at half court. Aggies trying to make this a 2-possession game with as little time on the clock as possible. Filipovic, 12 points tonight, none in the second half. Hard driving, Carpenter, fade away, 3, no! Weston's got it, 14 seconds to go in the ball game. Middle trailing by 2. Weston, tough shot, and Middle will get another crack at it with 8.1 to go.
Wow, hard to believe there was no sort of foul on that one. Looked like a lot of contact. Take another look. Weston goes up hard into Filipovic, and it looks like Carpenter also kind of swatted at it, but there is no foul called on that play.
One more look.
A lot of arms flying Cam Weston's way.
Yeah, from that angle, it looked like Carpenter got Weston in the face.
Yeah.
From the original angle we saw, it looked like he got all ball, or mostly ball anyway, but we're going to take another look at it. I assume to check possession.
And I want to say that was absolutely the right move by Cam Weston. Taking the ball, slowing it down, and then driving to the basket. He knew it was just a 2-point game, right? So he doesn't need a 3, he doesn't need a fancy shot. Drove to the basket, trying to get contact and get that foul. But the refs did not call it on that one. Just hard to believe there was nothing there.
So 8.1 to go. Middle is out of timeouts. There's only 1 timeout remaining for New Mexico State. Again, both teams in the bonus. So a foul on either end would result. And they're saying that Cam Weston's right hand hit the ball out of bounds on the way back down. All right, so here's the situation. 8.5 to go. Middle down by 2. Aggies have to go the length of the floor, and a foul will result in a 1-and-1. So Middle probably going to go for the steal first before they have to foul. Loof guarding the ball. Filipovic to inbound. Cook's got it, and Counter has to foul him.
What a turn of events for Blue Raiders. All the momentum on their side with that big defensive stop.
So now it's a 1-and-1 situation as the 8th team foul against Middle Tennessee. And so that'll send Christian Cook, the leading scorer for the New Mexico State Aggies this year. 14.5 points per contest, but he has been quiet tonight. 1 of 11 from the floor, just 3 points for Cook. But 75% free throw shooter, connects on the front end. Remember, Middle, no timeouts remaining. 1 timeout left for the Aggies, and Jason Hooten saying, do not foul. And Cook makes it a 2-possession game. Middle's got to go the length of the floor. 7.4 to go. No timeouts. Weston, half court. Puts up a 3. That's off the front of the rim. And the Aggies come into the glass house and steal one from the first place Raiders. What a ball game here tonight. The Aggies able to hang on for a massive road win to snap their 3-game skid.